Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, you know, I'm coming to educate somebody today.
You are?
Yeah, I'm coming to educate you. And I promise you,
The pants go with them? I don't know.
I can teach you more in 10 minutes than any other debater can
Well,
teach you.
speaking of schools, Jenny.
You got your Raptors colors
Yeah,
on. I
guess
see.
what? Speaking of schools, let me again congratulate the
goodness.
Vanderbilt baseball team for winning the SEC again and the SEC tournament again, and for being seeded second nationally in the NCAA tournament that is about to commence, with UCLA right up the street from us, seeded first overall. What is going on with my school? Can you believe it? It's the best school in America, and Belichick took a Vanderbilt cornerback in the second round. And guess what? A Vanderbilt basketball player is going to go fourth overall in the NBA draft, Darius Garland. So what is going on? We got football, basketball, baseball factories along with the best education. How can you compete with this?
I can't. I just want to know one thing. Did you guys win an SEC basketball game?
No, we did not.
Okay.
But now we got Jerry Stackhouse. How about Jerry Stackhouse, right?
Oh, you see, you keep on wearing these new outfits trying to compete with me. I noticed that.
I think that's the other way around.
That's a brand new one.
How do you know?
Because I know.
Boy, you fixate on my clothing.
Yeah. Ernestine doing a very good job.
Way to go, Ernestine.
We have a lot to get to on today's show. Has Lonzo played his last game as a Laker? And will the NFL punish Ezekiel Elliott? We will get to the latest, but we are going to start with Steph Curry. He is a big favorite to win Finals MVP. Steph is averaging about 27 points per game in the playoffs, but he's been on fire in the last 5 games without Kevin Durant averaging nearly 36 a game. Steph has won 3 titles and 2 regular season MVPs, but he has never been named Finals MVP. So, Shannon, how important is a Finals MVP to Steph's legacy?
I believe it will be the final missing piece, Skip, to this. This is the cherry on the top. This is icing on the cake, whatever analogy you want to use. This would be the final piece for him. Skip, it's hard for me to believe, and I know I'm going to get some pushback on this, but if he were to win the Finals MVP, I don't know how you keep him out of the top 10, because he would be one of the handful of players, Skip, multiple championships, multiple regular season MVPs, and a Finals MVP. The greats have that. The LeBron James, the Michael Jordan, the Magic Johnson, the Larry Birds. Those are the guys that have that. Moses Malone. It's not easy. It would be a crying shame for a guy of Steph Curry's ilk to have 4 rings and not have a Finals MVP, because we automatically assume if you're that great, how can you not have a Finals MVP? And so it's not like he's underperformed, Skip, with the exception of the year that they lost to the Cavaliers. He's been unbelievable in the finals. You look at in 2018, he was 27.5 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Kevin Durant won the Finals MVP with 29, 11, and 7. In 2017, he was 27, 8, and 9. KD was 35, 8, and 5. It's the same thing like Kobe and Shaq. The last year they won the title together, Skip, Shaq was 36 and 12, but Kobe was 27, 6 and 5. You see what's going on here when another player has a historic finals, sometimes you get bumped down. Now, even the year that Iggy won, he was 26, 6 and 6. He was only 24, 25 points in the regular season in which he won the MVP. I believe the only year that he's underperformed in the finals was the year that they lost, because he averaged 30 in the regular season. He averaged 22 in the finals. So you can see, okay, he underperformed in that. But Skip, if he were to win a Finals MVP, that would be 4 titles, 2 regular season MVPs. Skip, there's only a handful of players that can say, I got multiple regular season MVPs. I got multiple rings. I'm a Finals MVP. You start getting up there with the Shaqs. You start getting up there with the Duncans, the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Birds, the Magic. He gets another one. He's Finals MVP. I don't know how you keep him out of the top 10.
So you just called it the icing on Steph's cake if he wins this Finals MVP.
Yes.
I'm going to call it the cake.
Really?
I don't think there's enough cake there.
Wow.
Again, love Steph, loved him before his draft, said I'd take him over Blake Griffin. Everybody said I was crazy, and he has proven me right there. But he has not enough proven me right in the postseason. And all I know is that coming off his second MVP season, when he revolutionized the way the game is played. We've never seen anything like what he did the second one, which was the first ever unanimous MVP season. He led the league in scoring, and he led the league in steals. That's a hard combo, man. And he led it in PER, player efficiency rating. It's pretty great. The year before when he won it, he was third to Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. So he won that. He won offensive win shares, overall win shares, value above replacement player. He dominated every category at the top.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to do what he did. And as we know, he's 6 feet. Do we give him 3?
Give him 2.
2, maybe. Okay. And he did that by shooting 45% from the three-point line. It's impossibly great what he did.
Yes.
Looking so baby-faced, so non-threatening, so willowy,
Yeah.
right? He's everything we don't see in a dominating NBA star. He's the opposite of what I saw as Michael Jordan, right? Jump man.
Yes.
Just Michael was so dominating. He's so physically dominating at only 6'6", but could jump out of the gym, obviously jump out of the world. And he got so physically strong that he could just take you down low at the end of his career and score in the low post. Okay, so that guy goes into that postseason, and you know what happened?
Yes.
As you mentioned, in games 4, 5, and 6 against your LeBrons. Nothing happened.
You mean 5, 6, 7?
I mean 5, 6, 7, yeah. So nothing happened because he came up as small as you can come up with at 6 feet 2 or 3 inches tall. And just real quick for the record, in those games, 5 through 7, he shoots 37% from the floor, 36% from 3. And in the fourth quarter of those games, he was even worse. He shot 30% from the field and 25% from 3. And then game 7 was just the nadir. It was just like the hit bottom game. And again, LeBron was great. Kyrie hit the last shot. LeBron had the bicycle built for 2 blocks to chase down. But he did. Okay, so I give you all that. But meanwhile, the reason that door swung open at Oracle was because the unanimous MVP was going 6 for 19, 4 of 14 from 3. And in the fourth quarter, you went 1 of 6 from the field and 1 of 5 from 3 and had that horrendous turnover where he threw it behind his back into about the 9th row, right?
Yeah, that was the Larry O'Brien trophy that he threw out of bounds.
He did. He just threw it out of bounds. And it felt like that, too.
It did.
It just felt like with that turnover that Golden State, they're not good enough without somebody else. So then what happened? You said Draymond went into the parking lot crying and called Kevin Durant and said, we need you. And who led the charge in the offseason for Kevin Durant? That little man did. Sure. Steph Curry, the unanimous MVP, went out of his way to go completely public with, we need him. I'm going to lead our group. We're going to be the Hamptons 5 because we're going to go all the way to the Hamptons outside of New York on Long Island, and we're going to recruit him on the 1st of July. It was actually the 4th of July, right?
Yeah. Sure.
And he publicly swallowed all of his unanimous MVP pride, right?
He did.
And he said, we need him because we're not good enough without him.
Right.
Okay, you just disqualified yourself from top 10 discussions, right? Because you just said, I can't do it by myself. I need him. And Steph has never missed a beat over the last,
this will be
3 years. Never missed a beat. Every time he's had an opportunity publicly, he says, Kevin is our best player, right?
Right.
What does that tell the public? What does that tell the media? What does that tell ex-players?
He probably doesn't believe it. I mean, he says whatever he wants. I mean, he says publicly to keep the peace. And I understand that. But Skip, if you talk about top 10 players, Kareem played with Magic. If you look, just look at the top 10 players.
But I'm saying just publicly, the ex-players, the hardcores, the all-time greats are going to sit back, and they may not say so publicly, but they would say to themselves, I would have never done that.
Right.
Would MJ have ever done that?
Well, the thing is,
I can't win without him?
Well,
no.
The old players look at it like this. Yeah, we might have played together, but the teams put us together. They don't look at it like, well, you're still playing. How it came to be is unimportant. These young guys saying, we're not waiting till we get past our prime. If we want to go play with player X, we're going to do it, whether you like it or whether Michael would have done it, Larry or Magic. That's not how they view things. Now, they're not waiting for teams to put teams together.
Okay.
Player says, I want to go play with James Harden, or I want to go play with LeBron James, or I want to go play with Steph Curry. And they're doing it. It's the same thing. It's just how it's come to be is different.
Okay, but all I know about Steph right here, right now is he's the greatest shooter we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay, we got that.
Yes.
But can you do it when it matters most? Because I'm here to look, I love Steph Curry, but I got to be objective about it. Every stat across the board, from regular season to post, is down in the post. Every stat across the board: field goal percentage, 3-point, PER, turnovers, win shares. You can do them all. They're all a little off. They're not a lot off, but they're all a little bit down. What does that tell you? That whatever, maybe he's not made of quite the right stuff, which brings us back to right now. He has the greatest opportunity at age 31 of his career.
Right.
So he's in the middle of his career, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've seen what he just did for 1 quarter, 1 game against Houston, and then 4 against Portland. And
5 games in a quarter.
Okay, 5 games in a quarter. It's the best I've ever seen him play.
Yes.
What's the competition? Portland, not great. But Houston, yes. But it came out, it was like a bolt out of the sky where all of a sudden he had no time to think about it and get ready for it. It just happened. Kevin pulled up lame.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he took over with 12 points in the 4th quarter of game 5. And in the closeout game, remember, he came up empty in the first half.
Yeah, had 0 points.
And most people thought, I tweeted that at halftime. He scored 0. That doesn't bode well for Houston in the second half, right?
Right.
He scored 23 in the 4th quarter. It's hard to do in any game, regular season or post.
Right.
He did that.
Right.
Okay, so is that enough to vault him toward the top 10? I don't know. Now this could be enough. I think Toronto's really good. I think Toronto is underrated good as a team.
I agree.
And obviously, number 2 is playing at the highest level he's ever played at.
And the thing is, Skip, is that when I said they were a great team, the Golden State Warriors were a great team before Kevin Durant joined them. Kevin Durant made them virtually unbeatable in a 7-game series. Now with KD out, now they come back a little bit to the pack.
Okay, so it's on him. This is his moment. Can you take it over? And again, the more I hear about Kevin Durant, I don't get it. Now, there was a report last night on ESPN that
more than
you could be right. So clearly he's out for 1 and 2, and then what? We don't know, but it's starting to feel like he's just out.
He's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, let's surmise he's out for however far it goes. He's out for the rest of the year. He's obviously out on his team, too, because he won't even go sit with them during the game, which I don't understand, but that's just me. Just maybe I'm too old school like that.
Yeah, you old school.
Okay, so what does it say for Steph Curry that all of a sudden, now you're really on stage?
Right.
This is it.
Right.
And back in 2015, what happened when Iggy wins Finals MVP? Okay, it was Steph's first big stage where it was his team, right? Okay, and what happened? What did your man do? I told you, it's the greatest stretch of LeBron James' career. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, he was playing unbelievable.
Hey, it was unbelievable. He put that team literally on his broad shoulders, and he carried that team that had already lost Kevin Love and lost Kyrie in overtime of game 1.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They lost, they lost that game. I know they won one.
They won game 2.
They won game 2.
Right. Then game 3.
Thanks to LeBron. Delly had some contributions late in game 2.
Delly got fouled on the putback and made both free throws.
Okay, he did, and it was big. So then they win game 3, and they're up 2-1 in the King's house. Game 4 is in the King's house, and if you win that game, are they going to win that series?
I feel comfortable.
Don't you feel pretty good about it?
I do. I felt a lot better.
And what did Steve Kerr do as a young head coach?
He inserted Iggy late in game 3.
Okay.
And he saw something. That made him say, you know what, we're going to go Iggy in the starting lineup.
He put him in the starting lineup for game 4. And LeBron had by far his worst game of the finals.
Yes.
He was 7 of 22. Some people were telling me, well, he ran out of gas because he's carrying such a heavy load. Okay. Maybe that was part of it. But Iggy was a big part of it. And in that game, Iggy scores 22, and he made 4 of 9 threes. Pretty good. Yeah. Had 8 rebounds in that game. And I'm not saying he took LeBron out of the game, but I think he was a big reason why LeBron had a bad game.
He had a bad game.
Right.
But you look at that series, LeBron averaged 35, 13, and 9. And the finals MVP is the guy that's being credited for slowing him down.
Okay. So then Iggy continues. He has 14 and 8 rebounds in game 5. And then in game 6, the closeout game, 25, 5, and 5. Pretty good. He'd have 2 steals each game. He had 2 steals in that game. And he winds up making 9 of 22 threes for those 3 games, which is 41%. Meanwhile, quietly in the shadows, Steph Curry over those last 3 games is making 14 of 31 threes. That's 45%, which is what he made during the regular season, right?
Yeah.
So our man Chris Broussard, we're going to have him on a little later, he has said from the start, Steph should have been MVP.
Because Steph averaged more points in the that series than he did in the regular season.
Okay.
And with the exception of the one that they lost, Skip, his finals numbers are better than his regular season numbers because he averaged both years that they won with KD was the finals MVP. He's over 27 points a game.
Okay.
So it's not like I said, they make it seem like the guy just stepped off a cliff, and he's not doing that. It's just so that they lost the year, that he's a unanimous MVP, and it was also the season, Skip, he went 50, 40, 90. He shot 50% from the field, 40% from the 3, and 90% from the free throw line.
Okay.
And all those numbers were down across the board in the finals. Now people they were like, man, I'm out on Steph, man. I mean, he great regular season. No. He had one bad playoff stretch, and it just so happens in the finals. But other than that, Skip, he's been phenomenal. But with 4 titles, with 2 league MVPs, one of them unanimous, and a finals MVP, you're starting to talk about only LeBron and Jordan and Duncan and Bird and Magic.
Okay, but you're leaping to a conclusion we have not been able to leap to, that he's going to win finals MVP, even though he's favored to do so.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. He's favored because KD is not there. Because if you remember the past 2 years when KD was there, who was favored to win the finals MVP? Kevin Durant.
Okay.
So, this is pressure. He understands what this is about. He understands that he needs to be great like he was the last game and a quarter of Houston, the way he was in the 4 games against Portland. He understands that. He knows what this game represents for him, and I believe he'll be up to the task.
Okay, so the reason yesterday I struggled with our prediction about this series was in large part this man, Steph Curry. Because I can't completely trust him on the biggest stage. And I'm just telling, the history says no.
Because I'm looking at the history, he's averaged 20, the last 2 playoffs, he's 27.5, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. What does the history say? And you mentioned...
they're just down from the regular season.
No. The only year that it was down was 2016, the year they lost to LeBron. These numbers are all up.
No, but I can do all his playoffs versus all of his regular season. The playoff numbers are all slightly down across the board. Total career, post versus regular.
Is it really enough to make that big of a difference?
No, but it's enough it's cause for a little pause where you just stop and you say, well, okay, because we just saw the greatest stretch. It was sensational. It's like in impact, I don't know if I ever saw Jordan have any more impact than Steph had over those, 5 games and a quarter, right?
Yes.
Okay, but now we're to what really counts.
Well, we're going to talk about LeBron James against Detroit, the bad boy Pistons, too. We're not going to talk about that Eastern Conference Final. But I get your point. Go ahead.
But they had no chance. That team had no chance to beat my team in the finals because it was a mismatch.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but we're talking about this was Steph versus a Houston team that a lot of people, including me, gave a real good chance to get to the finals and win the finals.
Well, we felt even stronger once KD went down because, we thought they should have won that game there. That's James. That's your time, James. I mean, you're the reigning MVP. Okay. Take this game over. And they said, okay, even though they lost that one, they're going back home. They're going to get this thing back to Golden State, Skip, for Game 7. And Steph Curry says, we're going back home to get ready for Portland.
23 points said that.
We're going back, but you're not coming with us.
Again, I'm trying to be totally objective. What have I not loved about Steph even more so this year? More and more. This is just me. I'm just being honest. Hot dog, showboat,
Coney Island.
Just come on, man. We got everything. He's beating his chest. He's talking to the crowd.
Cheese.
He's chewing on his mouth guard. He's doing this, doing that. Okay, I got it. But after a while, I need you to do this in the font. Do this first, then you can showboat all you want.
Well, Michael Jordan was showboating with his tongue hanging out of his mouth, tongue dragging on the floor.
He just won 6 MVPs and 6 chances. So
well, Steph Curry about to have 4.
Okay, now I'm turning you into a Steph fan when I was the Steph fan.
Whoa, talk about.
Now, I'm more objective.
Hold up, talk about. Wait a second.
Okay, he better do it. He better do it now.
First of all,
this is it.
You make it seem like I've been anti-Steph. I've just been against Steph's team because Steph's been going against LeBron.
It's your team.
Yo,
that is
right,
correct.
Exactly.
So now your guys watch on the couch. No, I'm sorry. He's winning 3-point contests with 14.
No, actually, he's in his backyard in Malibu.
Is he?
Yeah, with them old
little
heaters.
cookout?
Yeah, you saw him yesterday.
Yeah.
Had the party, had a partners over there.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Really? Chilling? Boy, that's not all he can do.
All that being said, Skip, the Warriors can't win this series unless Steph Curry is great. Steph Curry has to be the finals MVP.
Okay. So I ended up picking Warriors in 7 just because I even less trust the guy on the other.
No, you can't.
I less trust him.
Hold on. After what you've seen over the last 2.5 weeks, how could you not trust him?
So many shaky fourth quarters, including the one the other.
If you put all your if you put all your eggs in that basket and you went to the market, you don't have to worry about tripping.
Really?
Oh, you in good hands.
Really?
Oh, you in good hands with Old Claw.
Really?
Old Claw?
Really? The guy who's shooting 26% from the 3-point line since Game 5 of the Philly series. I'll trust him. Yeah.
And he's still shooting what? 39% from the 3. Could I interest you in that? Would that be if someone were to shoot for the entire season, if they were to shoot 39% from the 3-point line?
Pressure is mounting. Now we're getting to the real stuff.
Oh, and he's averaging 29 points.
Now we're getting into Michael Jordan territory when he went 6 for 6 in the finals. But, this is where...
I mean, come on, he playing Stockton.
This is where you earn your, so to speak, spur.
John Stockton's trying to guard him. He got the ball palming over John Stockton. You remember Skip in the finals? He had the ball like this here over John. That's in the NBA finals. He's got the ball in one hand and he's palming it all around his man's head. An NBA player, a fella NBA player. And you proud of that?
Boy, I hope the sun's out here in LA or we're going to get struck by lightning right
You proud of that?
Stop jinxing us.
Yeah.
You proud of that?
Any of
Come on, you can't do it.
You can't do what?
It's such blasphemy what you're saying.
What'd I say?
He made the shot of shots. He held the pose.
No. Oh,
I was sitting
Kawhi made a shot and sat down with it.
Did he?
You saw Kawhi shot down. He sat down there.
He was so shocked.
No, he wasn't shocked.
He wasn't on the 5th bounce.
No.
Speaking of LA guys, should the Lakers send Lonzo Ball to Washington?
That's
this
a good
summer?
question.
We'll discuss
I
next.
hope so.
Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox
Wow.
Sports channel on Sirius XM. I'm looking forward to hearing that. We'll be right back.